We need to talk about these new mega abilities. Pokemon Champions has released, and it's been a couple of days now. I just wanted to take that time to get my thoughts together about these revealed mega abilities for every mega Pokemon from Legends EA that's been added into this game so far, and just give my thoughts on how good or bad they are, because there are some really weird ones in here, frankly. Some people are really underwhelmed by these mega ability reveals, and I think that comes from the idea that every mega Pokemon needs to be broken or something, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it is okay to have some weaker and some stronger mega Pokemon, but some Pokemon were just done absolutely dirty here. Mega Victreebel namely. We're going to go over each one of these mega abilities, and I'm going to give my thoughts on them and if they're even worth running at all on your team in Pokemon Champions. This is going to be an unscripted video, but I'm still going to edit it to make it look nice for you guys on the main channel. Let's just get right into it. If you guys enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, become a YouTube channel member, hype the video, all of that. And hey, you definitely want to subscribe, because at 300,000 subscribers, I'll be ranking every bench in Lumio City. Let's just begin. Mega Clefable got Magic Bounce, and I don't think Magic Bounce is a bad ability for Mega Clefable, but we need to keep a few things in mind. The current dex does not lend itself to Magic Bounce being super useful, and Mega Clefable as of now doesn't have access to Tailwind. So what are they exactly bouncing back? Because it's not going to be Taunt. Mega Clefable wants to be offensive with its current moveset. Maybe it can use Helping Hand and you can bounce back the taunt if they try to taunt you on your Helping Hand, but that isn't super useful. You also can't be taunted on Follow Me, so that could be a use case. It pairs pretty well next to Garchomp, so I could see that possibly being a combination that people run. But overall, Mega Clefable is just okay. I think Magic Bounce isn't super useful in doubles, but it might be able to make some waves in singles. Mega Victreebel. We gotta talk about this one. Why did you give it Innards Out? Its ability is effectively now, if Incineroar Flare Blitzes it, the Incineroar drops too. So that's kind of funny, I guess, but funny isn't really what I'm going for with my Mega Pokemon. I was so dead set on this thing getting access to Super Sweet Syrup and being able to sleep powder things that getting an even worse ability in Innards Out is just really, that's a letdown. What am I supposed to do with this thing? It's not fast, it loses chlorophyll, it's defensively just kind of okay. I mean, it hits hard with 135 base special attack, but I don't know. I'm beginning to think they didn't include the Life Orb or Choice Specs or Power Herb in this game, because a lot of these Mega Pokemon just wouldn't be playable if their base forms had access to these items. Mega Victreebel especially included, but I think even base Victreebel is better than this. I think base Venusaur is better than Mega Victreebel. You can't even compare them at this point. I don't even know what the use case for it at this moment is, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna face off against Floette, it could do pretty good into Floette. But Charizard's everywhere, so Heat Wave is a little bit too much for this guy to deal with because it can't hold an Aqua Berry like Sinistcha or other grass types. Now, we already knew Mega Starmie got huge power, but I do want to say that my only note on it getting huge power is the fact that Incineroar has been a huge issue for it so far, and King Gambit being everywhere makes it really difficult for this thing to get anything done. Mega Starmie is on the weaker end of Mega Pokemon despite having that doubled attack stat. It's actually really funny. They also got rid of Triple Axle on this thing, so you have to run Ice Spinner. So Mega Starmie is on the weaker end of things. That's all I really have to say about it. Now, we already knew Mega Dragonite and other Pokemon's Mega abilities from previews and stuff. And even though those were already revealed, I do want to briefly talk about them in this video. So we're going to talk about Mega Dragonite. Multi-scale's cool, I guess. Being able to Mega Evolve and not worry about taking full damage from moves is kind of sick, especially since you can just run Inner Focus in its base form if you don't want to flinch as an alternative for the first turn. However, Mega Dragonite is just kind of stuck on rain teams because it didn't get an ability like No Guard to help it land Hurricane, Thunder, and other moves. It just has to play on rain, which I think is really limiting for it. While I do say that No Guard is a bit of a detriment to Pokemon like Mega Pidgeot because they don't have like a lot of reasons to run it other than Hurricane, Mega Dragonite would have been like the sole exception here because it does have other inaccurate moves that would have been really good there. Multiscale is cool. It's been okay. It's a very mid-tier Mega in my opinion. All right, Mega Soul. Now I want to talk about this one really quickly because we did get some mechanics confirmations on it due to Champions releasing. Yes, Weather Ball does always have the 50% boost as though Sun were active. That means that if Meganium were to get access to any actual fire type moves, then those would also just be 50% stronger. Mega Soul is really cool. Being able to throw out immediate solar beams is strong. Mega Meganium itself, though, is pretty mid-tier. It hasn't been doing a lot on the ladder, and it's been just kind of okay. Dragonize Mega Feraligatr. Now, Dragonize is cool. All the 8 abilities, Pixelate, Aerialate, the other ones that aren't 8, like Galvanize on Alolan Golem, they're great abilities. Being able to have that extra boost on top of your normal type attacks and then turning them into another type that you also probably have Stab on is an incredible ability. Mega Feraligatr isn't the most incredible Pokemon in this game, however, it is able to one-shot a ton of Pokemon with Double Edge. I think that currently a lot of people are underutilizing Mega Feraligatr by giving it Body Slam. You really just want to run Double Edge. I know the recoil is annoying, I know you want longevity, but Sinistcha's in the game and it's on every team anyways. Just use that effectively and recover your recoil damage with Hospitality. It's not that bad. Mega Skarmory. I'm not happy about this one. Stalwart is an incredible ability on the right Pokemon, but I don't think Mega Skarmory is it. Mega Skarmory has great attack, really good speed, incredible bulk all around, and it can't be redirected. That's cool, but the issue is the Pokemon that are redirecting right now are Sinistcha and Clefable. 2 Pokemon that Mega Skarmory can just immediately annihilate, so it kind of doesn't matter. It is cool that you can just sit in front of them and attack the partner, but as of right now, Mega Skarmory isn't really doing anything in the competitive scene. It's just kind of sitting there going underutilized. Maybe there'll be some potential for Mega Skarmory on future team comps, with Mega Floette being one of the most broken Pokemon in the game. We'll talk about that one at the end of this video because Mega Floette had probably the most broken ability of anything on this list, but Mega Skarmory is just fine. A lot of these Mega Pokemon, I'm sorry, they're just fine. Some of them are bad though. Let's talk about Mega Chimecho. Mega Chimecho got what we all thought it would, but none of us hoped it would. Levitate. Levitate is cool. You're defensively very solid because you're not able to get hit by ground type moves, and you pair well with like Garchomp, which is a top 5 Pokemon in the format. However, now Mega Chimecho just doesn't have any offensive potential. Everyone wanted Steel type Liquid Voice, an ability which would cause its sound-based moves to all turn Steel type. That means that Psychic Noise is Steel type. That means that Hyper Voice is Steel type. Mega Chimecho just doesn't do anything. Its bulk's okay, its speed isn't great, but a Pokemon like this that just doesn't have the greatest damage output off of its weak Flash Cannon, frankly. It has to set up Calm Minds. It doesn't pair well with Sinistcha because of the shared fire weakness. It is an awkward Pokemon to run, and it is just, I have not seen a single one on ladder. I'm probably gonna have to record my own footage for this section. Mega Chimecho kind of just struggles to do anything at the moment, but once again, it's a Steel type, Mega Floette's everywhere, maybe it can do something. It kind of walls Floette and Garchomp at the same time, so I could see that being a possibility. Mega Froslass has just been a treat to see in competitive Pokemon. Mega Froslass has a really good speed tier, a really great special attack stat, meaning its perfectly accurate blizzards due to snow warning are now going to hit for really solid damage. The best thing about Mega Froslass is just the sheer bulk of it. It might not seem like it has incredible bulk because it has 70 HP and 70 defense, but also 100 special defense. On the special side, it's pretty good. But when you account for the snow giving it a 50% boost to its defenses and Aurora Veil cutting damage from all attacks, it is actually a surprisingly bulky Pokemon and kind of difficult to deal with. I think that it is in a very good position in the metagame right now. However, Charizard is #1, so we do have to kind of deal with that if you're running Mega Froslass, but the Weather War is essential anyway, so you can tech it onto whatever team you want if you need a secondary Mega. It's kind of just a better Alolan Ninetales at this point. Little more expensive, but also a lot more effective. They gave Mega Emboar Mold Breaker. It can Flare Blitz Heatran, who isn't in the game. That's it. Its ability does nothing as of right now, as far as I'm concerned. Why is Mega Emboar outdamaged by Base Emboar? Base Emboar gets Reckless Flare Blitz and a comparable attack stat. It doesn't do as much damage as its base form. Its close combat is stronger, that's cool. I'm not clicking close combat every turn. I want to click Flare Blitz. I want to get the most damage I can and a chance to burn and not lower my defenses. I get we're taking recoil, but you have 110 HP there. You have enough to spend, bro. Okay, this one's really interesting. Mega Excadrill got a clone of Unseen Fist called Piercing Drill, but Unseen Fist got nerfed, and because this is a clone of Unseen Fist, it's gonna have the same effect. Unseen Fist and Piercing Drill now only do a quarter damage through Protect. I have been advocating for this nerf forever. I've talked about it in a lot of videos. Just make Unseen Fist work like Z moves in Gen 7, how they do quarter damage through Protect, but still are able to break sashes and do chip damage. That's awesome. I feel bad that it happened now because I would have been so down to see Piercing Drill, Excadrill actually be really top tier. However, as of right now, it's more of a cost effectiveness thing. A lot of people are kind of disappointed it didn't get Sand Rush because while Piercing Drill would have been good if it did full damage through Protect and a lot more people would be running it, since it doesn't do full damage through Protect and most of the time Excadrill wants to click Rock Slide and Earthquake, it does want to click Iron Head, but that's like just into fairy types at this point. It makes it just a lot more cost effective to run Focus Sash base Excadrill since it's faster with Sand Up, pairs well with a lot of teams, and it's just a more reliable Pokemon at this point. I can maybe see a case for Mega Excadrill picking up because, say it with me for the third time, it is a Steel type in a Floette metagame, and also it has rock coverage to deal with Charizard and it outspeeds it. It could be good down the road, but as of right now, it is very underexplored and there aren't a ton of people running it. Base Excadrill is kind of just outclassing it right now. I want to give a quick shout out to the Golurk account on Twitter. I know you're having a really great time with this news. They gave Golurk Unseen Fist, which was on no one's bingo card. I don't think anyone actually thought that they would give this thing a great ability like that. I forgot what I predicted for it. Let me go back and check. Mr. Boosted from the past, what is your wisdom? So I think an ability like Power Spot could make it a great team. Power Spot? Dude, I was cooking with that one. No, they gave Golurk Unseen Fist, which once again is nerfed. Golurk is a really solid Mega Pokemon, just stat-wise, but here's the issue. The main thing with Unseen Fist on Golurk is that it only affects a few moves, and you have to use that ability at the expense of the power of your moves. Golurk only gets 3 physical Ghost-type moves, and they're Poltergeist, the one that you want to run most of the time, Phantom Force, the one that takes 2 turns but already hits through Protect, so it doesn't really care about Unseen Fist. And finally, we have Shadow Punch, which you don't want to run because it's 60 base power. They did, however, buff it in Champions. It does get access to Headlong Rush, which is just ground type close combat. It is a very powerful Mega under the right conditions, and you're able to one-shot Incineroar even at -1. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think it is a solid Mega, and I think that Unseen Fist is a cool ability, but it probably would have gotten a lot more value if they didn't nerf that ability. I think somebody at Game Freak either really hates Chandelure or was just banking on screens to be really good in the early metagame, but there's no Grimmsnarl, and Alolan Ninetales isn't as common as Mega Froslass, and Froslass costs a lot more to run. So what I would say is Infiltrator is not a terrible ability in the long run for Mega Chandelure. I think that it's going to get better and better as we get more Pokemon added to the decks, because if screens get added to the game, Infiltrator Mega Chandelure actually has incredible damage output as it's just going to ignore light screen. There's a cat. Are you trying to... I think he's trying to get behind the futon. Okay. Speaking of Infiltrator, Ronnie has infiltrated behind the futon. There he goes. As I was saying, Infiltrator could in the long run be a good ability for Mega Chandelure, but as of right now, it is broadly useless as the only positive matchup it has is into Mega Froslass teams, as a lot of other teams just aren't running screens like that right now. Mega Chesnaught got Bulletproof. It's good into Rain, and it's good into Gengar, and that is it. Not much to say about Mega Chesnaught. It's cool. Mega Delphox getting Levitate is actually pretty amazing because it won the first big tournament for Pokemon Champions. It was a $500 prize pool tournament held just like a day after the game released, and paired with Garchomp, Mega Delphox is actually extremely effective. Being able to go for nasty plots next to it while it just goes for Earthquake, and then going for huge damage off of Heat Wave, Psychic, anything. Its speed tier is higher than Mega Gengar, meaning that Mega Gengar can't effectively Perish Trap it, as you're going to move first, Psychic it, and one-shot it. It is a very good ability for Mega Delphox. And I think it was short-sighted for people thinking that just because it can't run Expanding Force with Psychic Terrain means that it's going to be bad. I think that this is an incredible ability for it, and it's in like the top 10 Megas right now. Mega Greninja getting Protean is actually really funny because this is another case of it's a really good thing they didn't add the Life Orb or the Choice Specs because base Greninja would have been better. I think that Mega Greninja is a really underexplored Mega at this point, but as of right now, the only tournament results that it has are very, very underwhelming, so... Okay, Mega Floette time. They gave this thing Fairy Aura, which is Xerneas' ability. You know what? Good on them. I didn't think it was going to get Fairy Aura, but the stats. You cannot give a Pokemon with these stats Fairy Aura. We thought we were done with Fluttermane. We got rid of the Pokemon, but we didn't get rid of the idea. This is another fast, terrifying Dazzling Gleam user. Fairy Aura boosts all fairy moves by 30%. And this Pokemon is min-maxed. It doesn't have as high of a speed as Fluttermane, but it has even higher special attack, even higher special defense, and even higher HP. It just doesn't have incredible physical bulk. This is yet another Pokemon that can just get a Calm Mind off and then sweep entire games with Dazzling Gleam. It is a menace on ladder, and it is a top 3 Mega right now. The top 3 Megas currently are Mega Charizard Y, Mega Floette, and Mega Gengar in that order if you ask me. But Mega Floette, oh my gosh, a single Calm Mind puts it like approaching Xerneas territory of damage after a Geomancy, because Xerneas has 131 special attack. This thing has 155, and it speed ties Garchomp, so, you know. I want to give a huge shout out to whoever at Game Freak said we are not gonna give Mega Meowstic Psychic Surge. I've had a lot of people telling me I want Mega Meowstic to get Psychic Surge. I need it to be able to click Expanding Force. Its Pokedex says that it should be able to do this because it can expand and contract space. If they did that, this thing would not be the most broken Mega in the game, but Sneasler would be the most broken Pokemon in the game. Do you know how strong Sneasler next to Indeedee was in Regulation H? Do you know how broken it would be in this kindergarten format? You put Meowstic in a format with all of these other bums, and you're gonna end up with that scene from the end of Step Brothers. They gave this thing Trace. Now, do I think they should have gone that far in making sure it wasn't viable? No, I think you could have given this thing Inner Focus and it would have been better. I think you could have given this thing a ton of abilities and it would have been better and not broken. But Trace? I'm sorry, we already have Mega Alakazam. Mega Alakazam has higher special attack, higher speed, and I know it doesn't have as much bulk, but it's a lot more worth running. The only benefit to Mega Meowstic is running the female to hopefully get an Intimidate boost from like an Incineroar or a Gyarados or something, getting +2 special attack and then going for damage because now you have +2. Maybe you can also copy the Intimidate and that's useful, but broadly Mega Meowstic just isn't very good right now and basically no one's using it. Mega Hawlucha got an ability that is practically useless on it, but very good on all of its partners. It got No Guard, which is really great in singles. No Guard means that you can't miss Mega Hawlucha, but also it can't miss you. That's the whole ability. Accuracy checks out the window. It only benefits from this ability on 2 moves. One of them is High Jump Kick, which is slightly stronger than Close Combat at 130 base power, while Close Combat is at 120 base power. And the other one is Dual Wing Beat, which just has slightly lower accuracy than 100, so it just gets rid of minor annoyances. This ability practically doesn't exist if you just land your moves, which isn't too hard on Hawlucha. But the thing is, in doubles, because Protect exists, you still don't want to run High Jump Kick, meaning that you're still gonna have to run Close Combat. However, there is a gimmick with Hawlucha that has been very effective on ladder for people who want to climb to Great Ball in Ultra Ball, but then get hard stuck there because you can't climb to Master Ball, and that is using Entrainment. Hawlucha can use Entrainment on a partner Pokemon to give them No Guard, and now they can click an Oko move. This has mostly been used on Excadrill, but I've had a lot of success with running it on Garganacl as well, since Garganacl is super bulky and defensively it pairs pretty well with Hawlucha. As of right now, Hawlucha is a one-trick pony, but I do want to say I think that giving it No Guard was clever. We all thought it was going to be Stamina or something, but No Guard is pretty cool. It's not useful. Mega Hawlucha is probably a bottom 5 Mega on this list, but it is pretty nice that thematically it makes sense. Why would a pro wrestler miss or not get hit by moves? Pro wrestling is all scripted, so every move is going to land unless it's in the script that it doesn't land. No Guard makes sense. It's kind of funny. It's time to talk about the biggest sleeper pick on this video. Mega Crabominable got Iron Fist, which that's just the ability it had in its base form. However, that's all it needs. This thing has stats like nothing else. It has 97 HP, 157 attack, 122 defense, 107 special defense, and 33 speed. It has access to the signature move Ice Hammer, which after Iron Fist becomes a 120 base power ice type move. Yes, it can miss, but it also lowers its speed, making it an even better Trick Room Pokemon. And its Drain Punches are capable of one-shotting bulkier Incineroar, which is kind of absurd because Drain Punch is a 75 base power move. I know it's super effective, but Incineroar should not be able to be one-shot by a 75 base power move no matter who it comes from. This removes the need to run close combat and means that Crabominable just gets to recover health, sponge hits, and deal a lot of damage under Trick Room. Crabominable is probably the ultimate Trick Room Pokemon in that you either win in 4 turns or lose in 5. Speaking of Trick Room Pokemon, we have Drampa. Mega Drampa got Berserk, which is just its base form's ability, and that is pretty okay on Mega Drampa. However, it can't run a Citrus Berry like base form can to boost Berserk and then get its health back and then go down to get another Berserk boost at less than 50% health. However, Sinistcha is in the game and Mega Drampa does have pretty good bulk. I could see this thing actually being fairly strong under Trick Room, but it, as of right now, is not super used. I think it's underexplored, so maybe we could see that change in the future. But for now, it's just kind of sitting on the bench. I think that a better ability like Drizzle could have helped it out quite a bit. I think that Drizzle letting it have perfect accurate Hurricanes and Thunders would have been awesome. But having 2 of the new Megas be Dragon Pokemon hard locked to Rain Team is kind of lame, so I do get why they didn't go with that. We need to talk about the new potential mon. Scovillain has a new ability called Spicy Spray. Spicy Spray is just a guaranteed flame body proc, meaning that you burn the opponent if they attack you, and it doesn't have to be a contact move. If this thing gets hit by a Rock Slide, the opponent gets burned. If this thing gets hit by a Fake Out, the opponent gets burned. If this thing gets hit by a Psychic, the opponent gets burned. How useful is that really? I'm gonna say not super useful, but it is a really funny gimmick, and we're all kind of like dogging on Mega Scovillain because Mega Scovillain was just objectively weaker than base Scovillain. But once again, since there's no choice items or life orbs in this game, Mega Scovillain technically better than base Scovillain, just a lot more expensive. Mega Glimmora got the ability Adaptability, which might be like one of the best abilities anything on this list has gotten besides Barriora from Mega Floette. But Adaptability is really cool. One of my major gripes with this Pokemon was that it felt like its stats weren't justifying the use of the Mega. Once again, there's no Life Orb or choice items in this game, and there's also no Power Herb, so base Glimmora can't run Meteor Beam to just be a better version of it. It can still run Focus Sash, which is cool. However, that speed tier is super useful in the current decks as it outspeeds Charizard, and it defensively is good into both Charizard, Venusaur if it's not running Earth Power, and Mega Floette. It does take on 3 of the best Pokemon in the game. It loses to Garchomp. However, it has great damage output. 150 special attack is incredible. Your Sludge Bombs having a boosted stab modifier of 2 times damage is really cool. Power Gem is now one-shotting Incineroar. This thing kind of feels like Gen 7 Nihilego, to be honest, and I'm kind of down for it. I think it's very underexplored, and it could be solid in the metagame if the right people build with it. But those are my thoughts. I did upload a video ranking every Mega in the game on my second channel. I live streamed myself giving my thoughts on it last night. So if you guys want to check out a less edited video over there, go ahead and subscribe to my second channel. I'll even leave a card right there if you guys want to check it out. But that's me it for today, guys. Let me know what you think about the new Mega abilities in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. Also, I think Friday videos are going to look like this from now on. It's going to be me sitting down and talking to you about metagame stuff. That means that the Monday and Wednesday videos are going to take a lot more resources to make, while this is something that I can crank out in like a day.